Last pine tree. The camera doesn't do it too much justice, but that's a really big pine tree. Today I'm gonna get it limbed out and topped, and then the rest of the day is gonna be untangling the limbs from a pile and throwing them in the chipper. Yay. And tomorrow we'll chunk it down and get rid of the spar. It is May 23rd and it's about 9:10 in the morning. Here we go. My climb line wrapped up so it's not on the ground because it's gonna get tangled in a bunch of branches shortly. Ooh, that looks fun. Alright, what are we going to do with this? We'll just take one at a time, see what happens with it. Look at that little dog. It's funny. Morning, friends. Starting off another day here on this last pine tree. So this is the first one. Big old dude. This is the second one. This is the one I could have finished today. We got this. It was a long day of chipping limbs. About 8.5 hours of untangling brush, and it was not fun. This was the second one. Still a big tree, but compared to the other one, small really. And this one here is massive. This is probably every bit of 50 inches down there. We did this pear tree just because it was looking pretty decayed, and there's really no way that I was gonna get these branches off without destroying it. So today I'm gonna put my little squirrel claws on, and I'm gonna chunk this down into here, load it up in the dump trailer, take it away. I'm just moving trailers around right now. I just got here, it's about 8:30. That's that. This is a 12-foot flip line, and down on the base it's just a big tree. This is a big tree. That's all I'm trying to say. show you something. So I haven't had my wood chipper for very long. Bought it this year. And so I needed a chip box. But I need to use this trailer for everything, chip box and logs. So what I did is that the mesh cover was originally mounted down on the front of the trailer. So I built these walls to hinge out. This back wall stays put. When the doors start coming this way and up back this way, it puts more weight on the wall to sit back. So this right here keeps it from doing that. And I can do either side I need to. They're kind of flimsy, but then again, if you make these, the first time I did them, I framed these doors up like that back wall, and they were way too heavy on those hinges. You can see how that back wall flips, but it's, and you could, on the bottom 2x4, or that support there, it's a little flimsy, but it works, and it's just plywood. So if it breaks, or if it's time to replace, it's no big deal. Just get a new piece of plywood. So since it's going to be loading from this side, I'll just do this. That looks crazy. It'll hold it. And now, oh, there's a stump there. Somebody have that removed. So now I can have access to it with the loader. And the tarp comes down and secures up on those. The bottom one, the piece of wood that comes out that way, that protrudes. At first I just did the top one, thinking, okay, extend the tarp down, set the bar right here onto here, and then roll it up, and then it'll get caught in there. But it wouldn't roll up over the 90-degree point and up. So I put that second one in there. So when I'm rolling it back, I set the bar on top of the bottom protuberance on both sides, and then when I come over here to the hand winch, it will bring it up that 45 and then stop it right there. It's not perfect. I get a lot of splatter, like you can see over here in the grass. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's nothing that a lawnmower can't go over, so that's on my list, is to figure out a better way of doing this. I love the way that I love how this works, the doors, but I don't like how much chips don't make it in the trailer, because it's just one more thing to clean up. And I mean, every hour of raking that I can avoid, the better. So anyways, what I got here is I put these logs and those logs there. I'm gonna drop this stem right here on those logs. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and get all the other logs cleaned up in the trailer. Then we'll go on to dropping the stem. Oh, and I forgot to show you. This is what we're left with. Right there. I was going to just chunk the whole thing down instead of, I mean, all the way down to the bottom, because it would spread the sawdust out more. Because I have to cut this stuff so thin to load it. Every 8 inches is a cut, so when the log is laying down, on the side of that log is just trash cans and trash cans full of sawdust to rake up. But I made the newbie move of, I carry Gatorade bottles with gas and oil. Those were full, but I went up and got to the top of the tree and realized I didn't put gas in my saw. So I basically had an empty 500i, and it's ported, and she's thirsty. So I had basically 1 tank of gas. And I had like 1.5 tanks because I had a couple extra Gatorade bottles of fuel. So But that's how far I made it. And instead of going back up, I'm just gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop it.